Sometimes the truth hides in plain sight, so obvious that people step over it every day. And in trading, there's a truth almost nobody wants to admit. Strategy doesn't make you consistent, discipline does. Every day I see traders obsess over new indicators, new secret YouTube strategies, new guaranteed setups, yet the traders who quietly compound their accounts month after month, they're not the ones with the fanciest systems. They're the ones who can do the boring thing over and over without breaking themselves. Let me tell you a story. A trader messaged me a while ago saying, "I've changed strategies 6 times this month and nothing works." 6 times. 1 month. But what if the reason nothing works is that he never stayed with anything long enough for it to work? And so I ask you, how many times have you jumped strategies? How many times have you blamed the charts instead of your impulse? How often do you think you're failing because your method is broken, when really it's your discipline that keeps cracking under pressure? Because let's be honest for a moment. You know that feeling when you tell yourself, "I'll stop trading for today," and then 5 minutes later you're back, convinced you see one more opportunity? Or when you say you'll risk only 1%, but the moment a trade looks really good you bump it up to 3, 4, 5? Or maybe you've experienced that sinking feeling, that pit in your stomach, after you revenge trade, and suddenly a small loss becomes a catastrophic one. And you sit there thinking, why do I keep doing this? Why does this keep happening? If you've ever asked yourself those questions, you're not alone. The truth is, most people don't lose because they're bad traders. They lose because in the moment, their impulses become louder than their rules. And here's the uncomfortable reality nobody wants to talk about. The most popular trading advice online actually pushes people toward inconsistency. Everywhere you look, people say, "Here's a new strategy. Try this pattern. Use this magic indicator." But almost nobody teaches the one thing that actually determines your future. The ability to do what you said you'd do, especially when you don't feel like it. Because the moment emotions enter the chat, even the strongest strategy breaks. Picture this. 2 traders use the exact same system. One follows the rules mechanically. The other tweaks the rules every time he feels anxious, greedy, or bored. After 3 months, they have completely different results, even though they started with the same blueprint. Why? Because a strategy is only as strong as the discipline of the person using it. It's like handing 2 people the same map. One follows it carefully, step by step. The other glances at it, then wanders off the trail thinking he knows better. Same map, different lives. I'm reminded of a story I once heard about a young athlete studying cougars, mountain predators known not just for speed, but for patience. The student followed a cougar mother for weeks as she hunted. And what shocked him wasn't the chase, it was the waiting. The cougar could sit unmoving in tall grass for hours, sometimes an entire day, watching, studying, breathing slowly. The student thought, why isn't she attacking? The deer are right there. But the cougar wasn't after the deer. She was waiting for the deer that broke formation. She was waiting for the one mistake. She wasn't hunting for opportunity. She was hunting for the right opportunity. On one particular day, the sun was setting, the wind was shifting, and the student had grown restless. But the cougar hadn't moved. Then, in a split second, one single opening, the cougar exploded from the grass and took her prize. Days of discipline for 5 seconds of execution. And that story stuck with me, because isn't that trading? Isn't that exactly what separates the average trader from the consistent one? You can click buttons all day. You can force trades. You can chase, jump, rush, and react. Or you can become like the cougar, present, patient, calculated. And I wonder, when you look at your trades, are you acting like the predator or like the prey? Discipline isn't glamorous, but it is the foundation. Let's break it down. First, discipline means doing less, not more. Most traders think being active means being productive. But activity without intention is just noise. I remember a trader who told me, I take 30 trades a day. 30. And he was proud of it. But when we reviewed his journal, 28 of those trades weren't even part of his system. He wasn't trading a strategy. He was trading his emotions. Compare that to another student of mine who only traded 3 times a week. 3. Not because there were no opportunities, but because only 3 setups fit her plan. And guess which one was profitable? Her. She wasn't special or gifted. She was simply disciplined. Doing less is hard because the brain hates boredom. But boredom isn't your enemy. Impulsiveness is. Second, discipline means trusting probabilities more than feelings. Imagine flipping a coin that you know is weighted to land on heads 60% of the time. You flip it 5 times, and it lands on tails 4 times. Most people would panic. They'd say, the coin is broken, and stop flipping. But a disciplined mind understands variance. A disciplined mind says, if I keep flipping, the math will work in my favor. Yet traders abandon strategies after 3 losing trades as if the universe has wronged them personally. But let me ask you this. Have you ever quit too early? Have you ever walked away from something that was statistically sound because it didn't immediately give you emotional comfort? That's where discipline comes in, not to remove emotion, but to stop emotion from steering the wheel. Third, discipline means mastering the art of the pause. One of my favorite stories is of a trader who learned to place his mouse behind his monitor after entering a trade. Not because it was far away, but because the extra 2 seconds it took to reach for it saved him from impulsive exits. 2 seconds. 2 seconds of breathing. 2 seconds of stillness. And over time, those 2 seconds became the difference between panic and poise. What if discipline for you is just a pause? A moment where you choose patience instead of panic? But let's go deeper. Long-term success in trading has a rhythm, a psychology, a way of thinking that almost feels reversed from normal life. One counterintuitive truth is this. The less you care about winning a single trade, the more likely you are to win over many. Traders who obsess over the outcome of the next trade suffocate their own growth. But traders who think in hundreds of trades, who see each trade as a single brushstroke rather than the complete painting, those are the ones who thrive. Another paradox. The more you try to force opportunities, the fewer opportunities appear. Have you noticed this? When you chase the market, it runs from you. But when you wait calmly, opportunities seem to walk right up to you. There's something about stillness that improves clarity. And yet discipline is not just a mindset. It's a muscle. And like any muscle, it grows through repetition. Try this. Before trading, sit for 60 seconds in silence. Not meditating, not visualizing, just sitting. This trains your body to slow down before making decisions. Another exercise. After every trade, win or lose, write 2 sentences. 1. Did I follow my rules? 2. If not, why? Over time, you'll start noticing patterns. You'll see that your losses don't come from bad setups. They come from broken rules. A third exercise. Set a maximum number of trades per day and a daily time you stop trading no matter what. When that time hits, you're done. This teaches your brain boundaries. It teaches you that trading is not an emotional slot machine you can pull whenever you want. It's a discipline that rewards structure. I want to return to the predator metaphor once more, because it is powerful. Think of the harpy eagle, one of the most fearsome birds on earth. When it hunts, it doesn't flap wildly. It doesn't waste energy. It perches high above the canopy, scanning, listening, waiting. Minutes pass. Hours pass. The forest moves, but the eagle does not. But when the moment comes, it dives with such precision that prey don't even realize what happened. That is discipline. That is the trader you are becoming. Not frantic, not desperate, controlled, focused, intentional. Or consider the dragonfly, capable of changing direction midair with incredible precision. Scientists discovered that dragonflies don't react randomly. They predict the prey's path and adjust before the prey even moves. And this is what discipline gives you: foresight, clarity, the ability to see before you act instead of acting before you think. And as we close, I want you to imagine the version of yourself who fully embodies this principle. The version of you who is unshakable. The version who sees a losing trade and feels nothing but calm curiosity. The version who waits days for the right setup and feels proud, not impatient. The version who stops at the exact time they said they would, because discipline is identity. Let me share 2 quick stories. A trader I coached last year started out reckless, over-leveraging, over-trading, emotional. Today, he trades like a surgeon. Clean, precise. He told me, I didn't become a better trader. I became a better decision maker. That is discipline reshaping identity. Another trader used to fear missing out. He couldn't sit still. Today, he says, if I miss a trade, it wasn't mine. That is the mindset of someone who understands power comes from restraint. So now, I want you to take this with you. You are not chasing strategies. You are becoming the kind of person who can execute any strategy with clarity and consistency. You are the cougar waiting for the moment. You are the harpy eagle perched in calm readiness. You are the disciplined version of yourself rising. Say this with me as we close. My discipline is my edge. And every day you trade, every chart you open, every decision you make, let that identity guide your hands. Because strategy may get you started, but discipline will take you all the way.